Ask ChatGPT a question and the answer types itself out, one word at a time, none of it existing until you asked. Not found. Generated. That was our first film, and that line is all you need from it. Press enter again. Same key, same quiet pause. This time the reply doesn't stay on the screen. An email leaves, a file moves. The words have been given permission to become events. That changes the price of being wrong. A wrong word cost you a bad answer. You frowned and asked again. You can regenerate an answer. You can't regenerate something that already happened. That film ended on a question. How can a system be right so often and confidently wrong? This is where the question touches the world. Let's make that concrete. An ordinary errand invented for this film. Here's an inbox, years deep. And here's the request typed like you'd ask a person, clean this up. Archive what doesn't matter, flag what does, get rid of the junk. Be honest about the picture in your head. It heard the goal. It's drawing up the full checklist. Then it'll execute it step by step like a tiny employee who never gets bored. Natural picture. And for a task this open, wrong in one important way. The plan doesn't exist yet. Careful though, it's only true said precisely. Some systems run on rails, fixed steps, written in code, the same path every time. And you can hand an agent your own plan, all of that exists. But for an open-ended task like this one, the complete path is often not decided anywhere before the work begins. Nobody knows what's inside message 412 yet. So instead of following a finished plan, the system generates the next step and revises as the work reveals what's actually there. You've met this machine before, you watched it write, now watch it act. Slow everything down. One decision, watched closely. The system is holding a few things. Your request, its standing instructions. The state, a running record of everything seen and done so far. The tools it was given and the permissions around them. From all that, the model's next output is a proposal for what happens next. Open the oldest thread. Search for subscriptions, move this one, delete that one. Or ask you first. The exact options differ from system to system. These are stand-ins. No menu like this exists inside the machine. But as a mental picture, weighted candidates is the right one. Last film, the candidates were words. Now they're actions. Here is the part almost everyone gets wrong. The model does not press buttons. It doesn't move files or send anything. Doesn't touch the world at all. It can answer you in plain text. And when it chooses a tool instead, what it produces is a request. Structured text, this tool, these inputs. Then the system around it takes over. The part built by people, usually ordinary deterministic code. It checks, is this tool allowed? Are the inputs valid? Does a human have to approve? It can pass the request through, run it, refuse it, or stop and ask you. Draw the line. On one side, the model proposing. On the other, the tools and the world. And on the line itself, every rule about what gets across. The request crosses. The tool runs. Something real happens. A folder changes, a search returns 40 hits, or an error, not found. The result, whatever it is written into the state. And that record is what the model works from when it decides what to do next. That's the trick. No magic in it. The agent isn't performing a finished script. It's generating each next step as execution reveals what just happened. Now let it run. It starts with the goal and the context. The model proposes, the boundary decides, the tool acts, the result comes back into the record, then it proposes again. Around and around, not forever, until a stop somebody designed. The task looks done. A turn limit runs out, a rule trips, a human says enough. So what is an agent really? Not a smarter chatbot, not a little digital employee living inside your computer. Try this picture instead, a model. Sometimes several, plus instructions, tools, state, feedback, and the permissions and control logic wrapped around it all. Real systems vary, and the exact machinery inside each product is theirs, not public. A working picture, not a textbook definition, enough for the rest of this film. Which brings us back to the promise. Run the errand again, and watch one assumption go wrong. Somewhere in the sweep, a proposal lands on an old file. Delete. The reasoning reads clean. Stale date, odd name, nothing pointing to it, obsolete, except nothing established that it wasn't checked. It was generated because it fit. Hold on to this. Generating a plausible next step does not guarantee that the assumptions behind it are correct. In a chat, a wrong sentence can just sit there, text until someone acts on it. An agent's output can already be wired into action. The proposal crosses the boundary. If nothing there says no, no rule, no check, no ask me first, the tool executes. The wrong assumption is no longer in the conversation, it's in the world. Wrong assumption. Confident next step, action, consequence. Notice what confident meant all along, not a feeling. There are no feelings in here. Fluent output, assertive form, no built-in guarantee underneath. None of this is hypothetical. In 2025, Anthropic, the company behind the Claude models, ran the experiment in the open and published the results. They gave an agent a real shop at their office. The goal? Make a profit, the tools. Web search, email, notes, a Slack channel, control of prices. From the company's own report, it told customers where to send their money. An account that didn't exist. It had generated the details. It described conversations with a person who was never real. It set prices without checking what things cost and sold below them. And customers talked it into discount after discount, sometimes into giving things away. The point is not that machines are foolish. It's sharper. The feedback was available. The numbers were right there. The loop kept running, and the corrections still didn't reliably come. Feedback only helps where the loop is built to use it. Raise the stakes, and the same shape gets expensive. In another widely discussed case that year, a coding agent deleted data from a company's production database, the live one. The platform's own chief executive called it unacceptable, said it should never be possible. Backups brought the data back, but the fix is the honest part. Automatic separation between development and production, a wall, built-in code designed to keep that entire class of action away from the real thing. When agents fail, engineers don't respond with hope. They respond with boundaries. That's what the unglamorous machinery around an agent is for, the part the demo rarely shows. Permissions, deciding which tools exist at all. Validation, rejecting a malformed request before anything runs. Sandboxes, a smaller world for actions to happen in, limits on how many turns a loop gets. Stop conditions, confirmation gates before the consequential steps. Real systems have shipped exactly that on purpose. And escalation, handing the decision back to a person. None of this means agents are dangerous by nature. It means reliability is engineered. Autonomy is not the absence of control. Useful autonomy is bounded control. When something goes wrong, can the loop catch it? Sometimes genuinely, yes. An error lands in the observations. The model generates a different approach. The retry succeeds. That's real. It's why observations matter. But carry the shop with you. Feedback makes recovery possible, not guaranteed. Whether the loop writes itself depends on the model, and just as much on the design around it. Did the observation actually say failed? Does anything validate, retry, stop, or call the human? Recovery isn't just a property of the model, it's a property of the whole system around it. The entire film in one breath. An AI agent, the working picture, is generative machinery, one model or several, inside a loop where its output can become actions, where results return as new context, and where engineered boundaries decide how far the loop may run. Generate, act, observe, update, generate again. Boundaries around the loop. That word, agentic, suddenly attached to everything. When you meet it, this is the picture to reach for. Nothing in the model woke up. Nothing began to want. What changed is narrower and bigger. Generated output can now cross a line and cause things to happen. Once that's true, the quiet things, correctness, permissions, feedback, knowing when to stop being details. They become the story. Which leaves a deeper question, still open from the first film. Why can a system this capable sound so certain when it's wrong?